The word iconic is overused in sport, but not here. This place has seen some landmark days. Prost at the chicane, Senna going for a gap, the lump in Murray's throat, Kimi's long way round on the last lap, and Johnny Herbert crowning champions. This place adores the heroes who dare to race, and only the classics move you like this place. Suzuka is that special. Good afternoon and welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, officially round 17 of the Formula One World Championship in 2023. It is 5.8 kilometres, it is 3.6 miles, but it's so much more than that across the 53 laps, mainly this year because it's so warm. We'll get onto that in a moment. There are 18 turns for the drivers to negotiate, including the S's, which are mesmeric on low fuel and amazing in the early laps. All about turn one though today. This is Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen. This is after they'd made contact earlier on in the race. So that was for P nowhere, but a good move nonetheless. Perez versus Hamilton. That's a late lunge back in 2012 when Perez made an art of making the tyres last longer than some very, very impressive names. Can he do so again today? And what about this? Senna, Prost, a championship on the line and the door closed. Murray Walker described it as fantastic. And it really was this place's first truly epic moment. It would not be the last. It's the C3, the C2 and the C1 compounds for the drivers in the field. Not the hardest they could have gone, but the high load, the turning of these Formula One cars at speed mean that we've gone towards the harder side. And how long you can make it last, well, that defines who's standing on the top step. The starting grid from back to front. Pit lane start for Logan Sargent after his Williams team had to replace nearly everything. He is next to Zhou Guanyu on our screen, but Zhou Guanyu will be at the back of the grid. Then it's Hülkenberg in the Haas next to Lance Stroll, who's been in the bottom four for the last three races. Valtteri Bottas was the winner of this Grand Prix in 2019. He's 16th on the grid next to Kevin Magnussen. Then it's Esteban Ocon next to Alex Albon. Ocon and Albon nothing to lose, chasing points and hoping that those fall off the tyre cliff ahead. Pierre Gasly is in 12th position, having crashed earlier in practice. And then it's Liam Lawson, 11th. He knows he'll be the reserve driver next year for Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Fernando Alonso always in the top 10 this year. Fantastic qualifying performance, Yuki Tsunoda in 9th place. Then it's Russell and Hamilton, neither one particularly happy with the balance of their Mercedes this weekend. Our winner from last week, Carlos Sainz, is 6th on the grid next to Sergio Perez. He's going to try some more of that tyre whispering. Charles Leclerc wasn't hugely confident about his chances of getting on the podium, but I reckon the McLaren pair will be. Lando Norris in the top three once again. For the first time in Formula One, Oscar Piastri starts from the front row and Max Verstappen's 29th career. And the Japanese Grand Prix is go! Round the outside goes Lando Norris, big crash, big contact in the middle, side by side they go. Max Verstappen hangs on to the lead, Oscar Piastri is down to third.
Two AlphaTauri side by side of Tsunoda going up the inside of Liam Lawson, who got him at the start, and the safety car is out. Piastri on the inside almost goes onto the grass himself. There's the touch. Perez and Hamilton have a little touch. Then there's another one further back. Wow, that was big contact for Albon.
This is on board with Kevin Magnussen. Has his path blocked. That is Valtteri Bottas off the road.
Here's what happens to Bottas then around the outside.
Dive bomb move from George Russell on his teammate. Hamilton trying to retake 7th position. Russell thought about nibbling back and Hamilton retakes the place. And there is Valtteri Bottas' day. He's gone out in the early part of the race today. Another late lunge. Oh, contact! Unbelievable! Round goes the Haas.
Have a nose to the inside. He's coming from a long way back. He's nowhere near. Oh, it's really poor. It's really poor from Perez.
And Sergio Perez has been told to retire the car. This is a hugely fast part of the racetrack as we plunge downhill. And no room given. Both Mercedes off the road.
Who do we want to fight here, each other or the others?
This needs to be another classic Red Bull stop. So many of the best pit stops this year have gone the way of this team. That is a wide moment for George Russell, and through goes Verstappen. So Charles Leclerc ticking off the places nicely. And now we're looking at Carlos Sainz all over the back of his childhood hero. There goes the Ferrari driver. The outside line will eventually turn into the inside line. And Hamilton going for the move on Alonso at the 130. These two great side by side.
I'm way quicker, I'm just in the dirty air. We're going to swap positions.
So Lando Norris finally takes second position. as Alonso gets ever closer. If he turns that into a traction race, that is going to turn into 9th position. Here comes the move for 2nd position. It will be eventually. And this is going to be a tidy pass to the inside. This is a DRS zone now for Piastri. And around the outside to take his place on the podium, and he will bolt.
Leclerc closer this time.
Trying to go the long way round. That's what it looks like if you try to overtake it for turn 1. What great pictures! Crowd love that move.
We'll invert positions. Be careful of signs with it, DRS though.
Yes, he does, to the inside, and then he tries to jump back in. He's got the DRS, but he's also got Carlos Sainz tucked right underneath him. Russell's going to lose the position. Max Verstappen comes out of the final corner for the final time. Max Verstappen wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Red Bull are champions of the world for the 6th time. They take the Constructors' title for the 2nd year in a row. A 13th Grand Prix win of the year, a 48th all-time for Max Verstappen, who's into the arms of his world champion team once again. His 2nd win at Suzuka. And both times he's crossed the line to win this race, either he or the team have won the title. It's the team this year. The next time the 5 red lights go out for the sprint race in Qatar, Verstappen has his first chance to take the title. It lights up when you kiss the back of the trophy. Max Verstappen does as instructed, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, it was a bit tight in turn 1 and 2, but we managed to keep the lead, which I think was most important. And basically from there onwards, I could just focus on my own pace and look after my tires. And yeah, we just had a bit more pace than everyone behind us, so we could pull away, and no real issues throughout the race, which I think is always very nice when you can say that.
Obviously, that gives you, Sergio, and Red Bull the Constructors' Championship. The RB18 was already a very good car last year, but the RB19, just talk us about what an effort it's been for the team to give you this car this year.
Yeah, it's of course a very proud moment for everyone here at the track, back at the factory. I think the season we are having is just incredible. I think everyone can be very, very proud of that. And I think we will even, in a few years' time, you look back at it and it probably brings a smile on your face again, just to remember what you have achieved as a team. But yeah, apart from Singapore, I mean, we have been dominant, and that's exactly as a team what you want to try and achieve all the time.
Pretty much everything went our way today. But we prepared for it all. Great start. I think that was the key to a lot of stuff. I almost had Max, so I had him into turn 1, just not turn 2. But he was not going to give it up easy, so I didn't. I fought, but yeah, I didn't want to take myself out of the race either. So it was a great race. The pace was very strong. Better than everyone else behind by a decent amount. Not as good as Max, but not far away. It wasn't like he just cruised away easily, and he couldn't pit, which was probably the best thing. He couldn't pit and go for fastest lap. Which was a nice little bonus for us. Maybe he still had it, I don't know, but it was good, and double podium for us, which I'm most proud about. For the whole team. For Oscar up there, his first podium in Formula 1, I'm sure it's pretty special for him. So happy for him. Everyone in McLaren, it's been a very good day.
Very, very happy. To get my first podium in F1 is a very, very special day. I think there's still a lot to learn and a lot to improve on, but I'll soak in the trophy, soak in the champagne. I stink from it, but a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it was just a disastrous weekend. It all started into turn 1 with a really bad start, and I was squeezed down, and I was just a passenger there and a sandwich, I think, and we carried a lot of damage in the car as well, and that just made it a lot harder for us.
Eventful, short race for me, but I had a great start actually off the line. I was between 2 cars going into turn 1, and the car on the right started squeezing to the left. So then in the end there was no space, so there was a collision, and I had a puncture on the front right.
Was there any question of keeping the race going after the Sargent crash at the hairpin?
We tried, but there was too much damage. The car was undrivable. I think they must have had some damage in the suspension. We also had a hole on the side pod, so yeah, it was not really drivable. So unlucky, and with Sargent, obviously I just tried to make the move from the outside, but he probably locked up and ended up taking me out.